Welcome viewers, welcome to Farm Plus YouTube channel. Today I want to take you on another lesson, on another important thing which I feel is quite very important for me and you to share so that we can be on the same page. And I understand sharing knowledge is very important. We want to grow together, we want to improve together. So I want to share uh, what is important on litter management. So when we are talking of litter management, we are talking from the bedding. There is a difference between litter management and bedding. When we are talking of bedding, we are talking of when we put something like either wood shavings or grass or cotton husks in our chicken house. The importance of that bedding is number one, to absorb unnecessary wetness or water, and even as we know that when these birds are drinking water, they sometimes end up causing spillages, and that spillage can affect the bedding. They can cause wetness in our chicken house. So the importance of bedding, the first one is the bedding is meant to absorb that wetness from spillages when the birds are drinking. And also that when they do the poop, their chicken poop, remember it is sometimes water, and that chicken poop, the wetness from that chicken poop is supposed to be absorbed by the bedding. But the difference between bedding and litter, when we just put those wood shavings, those cotton husks, those dry grass into our chicken house, before we put chickens, that's when it is called bedding. But once we put chickens on top of that bedding, it now starts to be called litter. And once it is called litter, it means we are now having some foreign objectives which are not the bedding itself. So we are talking of the importance of bedding here to say for absorption of water. Another thing is for it to give comfort to the birds. When the birds are moving, remember, we don't want them to step or direct on the floor. We want them to step on the bedding so that they feel that comfort. And another important is for warmth. We don't want our birds to be sleeping direct on the floor. So we want to put this bedding so that it provides warmth to the birds. So that's the importance of bedding. Right now we want to shift and to move on to litter management. So when we put our birds on top of that bedding, it automatically becomes litter. So the management of this bedding is now what we are calling litter management. So we want to start by saying the general or the golden rule on litter management is to say it must be dry and loose always. It must be dry and loose always. So when we are talking of dry and loose, we mean, if you can look on this bedding here, you see it is loose and it is dry. So it won't causes diseases. It won't causes infections to our birds. So another thing is when they are dry and loose like this, it also allows the circulation of air or aeration so that they remain dry like this. And once they are dry, it means we are avoiding the issue of ammonia. Remember, when they are wet and they start to cake, it means there is no free movement of air within that bedding. So there will be no aeration. So what it means is it will develop that ammonia gas Ammonia gas is very, very, very dangerous to our birds. It causes respiratory diseases. Sometimes you find that your birds will not occupying the wall of the chicken house. They will now start to go to the sides of the chicken house to seek fresh air. It simply means that there will be ammonia in your chicken house. So that's the golden rule on litter management. It must be dry and loose. Avoid litter caking. That's the golden rule. Once you ensure that your litter is dry and loose, and there is no wet patches and no caking of litter, it means you are warm and dry, you are on it. So once your bedding become wet, it affects your beds. So on this stage, I want to show you the effects of having wet the effects of having wet bedding, wet litter. The number one thing is when your bedding is wet, your beds will develop a black spot here. It will develop a black spot here. If you can look on this one, it is quite nice. It is clean and it have the original color. But if the bedding is wet always, it will develop a black spot here. That black spot is called foot bed lesion. Foot bed lesions are wounds themselves. They are wounds and they cause pain when the bird is walking. So what will happen soon after it develop the footbed lesions? It means your bird will always be sleeping, will be always on the ground. So once it is always on the ground, it develop a hard and tough skin here, a coat like which is pinkish in color, because it will be sleeping on wet bed. So that hard color, hard skin and pinkish color is called workbench. Workbench, they are also very bad to all beds because they can automatically develop into wounds like the footbed lesions. And if that happens, the next thing is your birds will not be walking freely, will not be moving freely, and they will be restricted from moving from one point to another, and they will also not be moving to feed us, to drink us. So the feed intake ratio is compromised, the water intake is also compromised, and that means your bird cannot gain enough weight and cannot grow very fast because it will be affected by those things. Then another thing, once it spend most of the time sleeping, it also develop another coat here on the chest. That coat is called breast bands. Breast bands, they are not good at all. Even if you are trying to sell your bed to a customer, if it heavy, the breast bands, the customer cannot be comfortable to buy it. So that's some of the things which are saying they must be avoided. You must adhere to every detail when it comes to litter management. Then we also need to talk of the feed intake ratio, the drinker intake ratio, the water intake ratio, to say if your bed is not moving well, those things are compromised and the birds cannot attain their target weight on time. They cannot grow fast because they are not taking in correct feed and the correct amount of feed per correct time. So these are some of the things which we need to address when we are into litter management. And from there, we also want to talk of the ammonia gas we have been talking of. If we have ammonia gas into your chicken house, they will cause respiratory diseases. The respiratory diseases, they can affect all the respiratory organs like the liver, like the pancreas, like the heart. So those are some of the things which we do not want to be affecting us as farmers when we are into broiler production. And by the way, we must also know that ammonia can also cause ascites. Once the heart is affected, it can drip water, can cause water to accumulate in the belly of the bed, in the stomach of the bed. That when we end up having belly water, when we end up having ascites. So these things are caused by poor litter management. So guys, we want to make sure that whenever we enter into broiler production, we are also adhering to proper litter management. And another thing is ventilation. Ventilation is also very important because if your ventilation is compromised, the aeration is compromised, it simply means to say your bed will be wet always. And these all things that I have been talking of can be resulted into your chicken house because of poor ventilation. So this is what I've decided to share with you on litter management, guys, because we don't want to be on the negative side when it comes to broiler farming. So this is what I've decided to share with you. That's what FarmPlus has prepared for you for today on the issue of litter management. Let's meet on another day with another video. Love you all. Thank you.